Hello and welcome to the Eurotech covering news from 11th to 17th January 2026. We will start by covering news on European AI, funding, fintech, AI chips among others. Later, we will continue discussing European consumer app alternatives, our second episode on finding alternatives to US tech companies.
The recent U.S. posture around Greenland is a reminder that digital sovereignty is a European necessity, not a luxury.
Be sure to subscribe to our podcast. I'm your co-host, Mark Candlish.
I'm Brian Welshly.
And I am Rebecca Edwards.
First up, Berlin-based Parloa just raised $350 million in Series D funding, pushing its valuation to roughly $3 billion. What makes this stand out is the speed. The company raised $120 million only 8 months ago at around $1 billion, meaning it has essentially tripled in value in under a year. The round was led by General Catalyst, with participation from EQT Ventures and Altimeter. Parloa builds AI voice agents for call centers, automating customer service across calls and chat, right in the middle of a global arms race for AI workers. It's competing with well-funded US and UK players, but Parloa's CEO argues the market is enormous and won't be winner-take-all. With reported ARR surpassing $50 million, Parloa now has the capital to scale globally and compete from Europe's AI backbone.
Germany added another unicorn via sustainability and compliance software. Osapiens, based in Mannheim, raised $100 million in Series C, lifting its valuation above $1.1 billion. The entire round came from Decarbonization Partners, a climate tech JV between BlackRock and Temasek. A powerful endorsement. Osapiens sells a SaaS platform that helps large firms manage ESG and regulatory compliance, carbon tracking, supply chain standards, audits, and sustainability reporting in one system. It already counts large customers like Tesco and DS Smith, and with around 500 employees, it's expanding beyond Europe, including into the US. The key tailwind is regulatory. As EU sustainability reporting tightens, platforms that make compliance operational, not just reporting theater, become mission-critical.
Cybersecurity produced another unicorn. Aikido Security from Brussels raised $60 million in Series B, led by DST Global, valuing the company at $1 billion. Aikido targets developer workflows, offering security guardrails that automatically detect and help fix vulnerabilities, especially relevant as AI-generated code increases both speed and risk. The company says revenue grew fivefold last year, and about half of sales already come from the US, which is a strong traction signal for a young European firm. The thesis here is simple. As software production accelerates, the bottleneck becomes safety, and Aikido wants to be the default security layer developers actually use.
Now to public markets. ASML just crossed a historic threshold. Its market cap moved above $500 billion for the first time. The catalyst was the continuing AI-driven chip boom. After strong signals from TSMC, investors doubled down on the belief that advanced chip demand remains red hot. And ASML is the most critical upstream beneficiary. Why? Because their EUV lithography machines are essential for manufacturing the most advanced semiconductors. In plain terms, if the world wants more high-end AI chips, they sell more of the machinery required to make them. This milestone isn't just a win, it's a reminder that Europe's biggest tech advantage isn't a social app. It's a choke point technology at the heart of the global supply chain.
In fintech, Klarna is trying to evolve beyond buy now, pay later. This week, it launched peer-to-peer payments across 13 European countries, including the UK, letting users send money instantly inside the Klarna app. The move fits a broader strategy. Klarna wants to become a full-service digital banking platform, increasing engagement and expanding revenue sources beyond BNPL. Klarna is also riding momentum from its new products, including a Klarna card that drew millions of signups quickly. The competitive intent is clear. Go after the territory held by banks and fintech super apps by owning not just credit, but everyday money movement.
The UK had a loud AI debate moment. Loci Labs, positioned as a domestic chat GPT-style challenger, drew attention when CEO James Drayson told Parliament that no AI can promise to be safe. Loci is taking a trustworthy AI stance, restricting under 18 access and delaying some features until safer, while criticizing parts of the industry for moving too fast amid deepfake and safety scandals. Whether or not Loci becomes a breakout product, it's a signal of the European/UK positioning, safety and accountability as a competitive narrative, not just regulation.
Europe's defense tech consolidation continues. Helsing, a German defense AI company, acquired Keybotic, a Barcelona robotics startup building autonomous inspection robots. The strategic idea is integration. Helsing is combining AI software with robotic platforms to support infrastructure monitoring and defense-adjacent capabilities. The broader pattern looks familiar, big funding plus acquisitions, but applied to defense. It's Europe building a homegrown stack in security tech, AI, robotics, autonomy, and deployment capacity under European control.
And that's a wrap for this week's Eurotech Update. Next, the second episode of our European consumer app alternatives, on finding alternatives to U.S. tech companies.
Amazon has a huge presence in Europe, but it's not as dominant as it is in the United States. In many European countries, strong local or regional e-commerce players lead or seriously compete. That means reducing reliance on Amazon is often realistic, especially if you shop by category rather than defaulting to one platform. Europe's retail landscape is more fragmented but also richer. From fashion to electronics to groceries, there are well-established European alternatives that offer comparable convenience while supporting local businesses and competition.
In fashion, Zalando is the clearest European alternative. Based in Berlin, it operates across more than 25 countries with tens of millions of active customers. It focuses exclusively on fashion, shoes, and beauty, offering free returns and fast delivery in many regions. For clothing purchases, Zalando effectively replaces Amazon's fashion category.
Zalando is Europe's leading online fashion marketplace. It's listed on the Frankfurt Stock Exchange's Xetra under ticker ZAL and operates across more than 25 countries. Its strategy is to dominate fashion and lifestyle e-commerce by combining a vast brand assortment with best-in-class logistics, free returns, and deep localization by market. Zalando's competitive advantage lies in its pan-European scale, in a single vertical strong relationships with fashion brands, and a frictionless returns experience that Amazon struggles to match in apparel.
In Central and Eastern Europe, Allegro plays a similar role to Amazon or eBay. It dominates the Polish market with massive local loyalty and has expanded regionally. Its success shows that Amazon doesn't automatically win everywhere. Strong local platforms can hold their ground.
Allegro traded on the Warsaw Stock Exchange under ticker ALE. Allegro's strategy focuses on defending local market leadership through strong seller liquidity, logistics services, and embedded payments, while cautiously expanding regionally. Allegro's key advantage is powerful local network effects and consumer trust, which allowed it to resist Amazon's entry and maintain over 50% market share in its core market.
Germany offers several options. Otto, a legacy retailer turned e-commerce giant, and About You, its younger fashion-focused brand, both provide alternatives to Amazon for home goods and apparel. Across Europe, there are also powerful national champions like Fnac Darty in France, MediaMarkt in electronics, El Corte Inglés in Spain, Digitec Galaxus in Switzerland, and supermarket chains offering online grocery delivery. Europe also excels in specialist retailers. Decathlon for sports gear, IKEA for furniture, Thomann for musical instruments, and many others often offer better expertise and support than Amazon's broad marketplace.
Use Amazon as a last resort rather than a first stop. For clothes, try Zalando or brand websites. For electronics, check local electronics chains or European marketplaces. For books, use national bookstore chains or indie-friendly platforms. For secondhand or unique items, Europe's classifieds and marketplaces often outperform Amazon. Price-wise, Amazon isn't always cheaper in Europe. Comparison tools frequently surface local retailers with similar or better pricing, faster shipping, and greener logistics. Shifting even 50 to 70% of purchases away from Amazon meaningfully supports local competition and reduces the amount of data Amazon collects about your consumption habits. From a broader perspective, Europe's e-commerce strength lies in category leaders rather than one mega platform. Supporting these businesses helps maintain a diverse retail ecosystem and keeps innovation distributed across regions. The takeaway is simple. Default to European and local retailers whenever possible, and keep Amazon for the rare items you truly can't find elsewhere. You'll often get the same convenience, stronger consumer protections under EU law, and the satisfaction of supporting Europe's own digital economy.
Payments are one of the hardest areas to fully Europeanize. Global networks like Visa and MasterCard sit underneath almost everything, and as an individual consumer, you can't realistically opt out of them entirely. The same goes for PayPal, which is deeply embedded in online checkout flows across Europe. That said, Europe has built a strong layer of fintech services on top of these global rails, and in practice, you can shift much of your day-to-day financial activity toward European companies without sacrificing convenience.
One of Europe's biggest fintech names is Klarna, founded in Sweden. Klarna isn't a replacement for card networks, but it changes how you pay online by offering buy now, pay later, and installment options. With over 100 million users globally, Klarna has become a dominant checkout option across European e-commerce. Using Klarna often means you're not paying merchants directly via PayPal or a credit card, even though Klarna itself still connects to your bank or card behind the scenes. Another major player is Revolut, which began in London and now operates across Europe with an EU banking license. Revolut functions as a multi-currency account, debit card, and money app all in one. It's especially popular for travel, peer-to-peer payments, and managing finances digitally. While Revolut cards still use Visa or MasterCard, the service layer, FX rates, transfers, budgeting, is European and often far superior to traditional banks or PayPal. For international transfers, Wise is a standout. Founded in Europe and now publicly listed on the London Stock Exchange under ticker WISE, it offers low-cost, transparent cross-border payments using real exchange rates. Compared to PayPal's high fees, Wise is usually cheaper and clearer. Its debit card is also widely used by people who live or work across borders.
Wise's strategy is to disrupt traditional banking and PayPal by offering real exchange rates with clearly disclosed fees, then expanding into broader everyday financial services. The competitive advantage is its simplicity and price transparency, combined with a scalable cross-border payments infrastructure that has earned strong consumer trust.
Europe also has powerful local payment systems. Ideal in the Netherlands, Bancontact in Belgium, Swish in Sweden, and SEPA bank transfers across the Eurozone often bypass global card networks entirely. These systems are heavily used domestically and are often cheaper and faster than PayPal or card payments.
Use SEPA bank transfers for peer payments within Europe. Choose Wise or Revolut instead of PayPal when sending money internationally. Pick Klarna or direct bank payment when checking out online if available. Mobile wallets like Apple Pay and Google Pay are harder to avoid, but even here, you can sometimes use bank-issued wallets or local alternatives. And while Europe hasn't yet built a unified card network to rival Visa or MasterCard, initiatives like the European Payments Initiative and the future digital euro show long-term intent. From an investor perspective, Europe is actually strong in payments infrastructure. Companies like Adyen, Trading on Euronext Amsterdam under ticker ADYEN, power global merchants behind the scenes, proving European fintech can lead at scale even if consumers don't see the brand. Its strategy prioritizes reliability and long-term partnerships by offering a single, unified platform for processing payments across countries and channels. Adyen's competitive advantage is its one-platform architecture, which reduces complexity for global merchants and creates high switching costs once integrated. For users, the takeaway is simple. Payments are global, but how you manage your money doesn't have to be. Leaning on European fintechs often saves fees, improves transparency, and supports a vibrant ecosystem without forcing you into unrealistic compromises.
Here's a twist many people overlook. One of the biggest consumer media platforms in the world is European. Spotify, founded in Sweden, is the global leader in music streaming. So if you're already using Spotify, you're supporting a European tech champion rather than an American ecosystem like Apple Music, Amazon Music, or YouTube Music. Spotify pioneered unlimited streaming and now serves hundreds of millions of users worldwide. It's widely regarded as best in class for discovery and social features, works across all devices, and even offers a free ad-supported tier. Switching to Spotify from Apple or Amazon is one of the easiest European wins in this entire discussion. There's little to no loss in convenience, and often a gain. Alongside Spotify, Deezer from France remains a smaller but viable alternative, especially strong in local European catalogs and high-quality audio. SoundCloud, headquartered in Berlin, fills a different niche: independent artists, remixes, and experimental music rather than mainstream catalogs.
Deezer, listed on Euronext Paris under ticker DEEZR, is a French music streaming service with a strong presence in select European and emerging markets. Its strategy emphasizes telecom partnerships, regional content strength, and differentiated audio features rather than aggressive global expansion. Deezer's competitive advantage is its deep integration with local partners and focus on markets where global players are less dominant.
Podcasts are even more open. They rely on RSS feeds, meaning you're not locked into a single platform. While Spotify and Apple Podcasts are popular, you can use independent apps, including some built by European developers, and still access the same shows. Podcasting remains one of the most decentralized media formats available.
Video is the hardest category. There is no true European equivalent to Netflix or YouTube in terms of scale, content volume, or network effects. Global video platforms thrive on massive budgets and worldwide reach, and Europe simply hasn't produced a single unified competitor. That said, Europe has something different: strong national broadcasters and local streaming platforms. Public broadcasters like BBC iPlayer, ARD/ZDF Mediathek, France.TV, RAI Play, and RTVE Play offer vast libraries of high-quality local content, documentaries, and series, often free or funded through public broadcasting models. These platforms won't replace Netflix's Hollywood catalog, but they excel in European storytelling and cultural depth. There are also paid regional services like Canal+, Viaplay, RTL+, and Videoland, which invest heavily in local productions and sometimes carry licensed international content. Some pan-European efforts struggled due to fragmentation, highlighting how difficult it is to compete directly with global giants. On the user-generated side, YouTube remains unmatched. Open or decentralized alternatives like PeerTube or Odyssey exist, and France's Dailymotion still operates, but none come close in scale or creator ecosystems. If you want specific creators, YouTube is often unavoidable.
The realistic approach for media isn't total replacement, it's diversification and intention. For music, using Spotify already places you in a European ecosystem with virtually no downside. For podcasts, remember you have choice and aren't locked in. For video, don't expect to quit Netflix or YouTube entirely. Instead, reduce over-reliance. Mix in national broadcaster platforms, European documentaries, or local cinema releases. RTE, the Franco-German cultural channel, is a standout example of high-quality European content that many people overlook. If privacy or algorithm fatigue is a concern, consider using alternative front ends for YouTube or simply limiting algorithm-driven viewing. Even rotating subscriptions, keeping Netflix 1 month and canceling the next, can reduce dependency without sacrificing enjoyment. From a broader perspective, Europe may have ceded platform dominance in video, but its content is thriving, often delivered via global platforms due to demand and quotas. For consumers, the goal isn't purity, it's balance. Enjoy global services, but intentionally support European platforms where they excel.
AI assistants are the newest and fastest-moving category in consumer tech. Right now, the mainstream tools most people use, ChatGPT, Copilot, and Google's Gemini, are American. Europe is clearly behind in consumer-facing AI at scale, but it's moving quickly to build credible, homegrown alternatives focused on openness, privacy, and sovereignty. The realistic picture today is that most users still rely on US models for top-tier performance. But Europe is laying important foundations that could matter a lot in the coming years.
One of the most promising European players is Mistral AI, a French startup founded in 2023 by former researchers from leading US tech firms. Mistral made waves by raising a record-breaking seed round and releasing an open-source language model that rivaled older proprietary models despite its smaller size. Its mission is explicitly European, open, controllable AI that doesn't rely entirely on US cloud providers. As Mistral builds consumer-facing tools on top of its models, it could become a serious alternative, especially for users comfortable with more open or technical solutions. Germany's Aleph Alpha is another key player. Founded in 2019, it focuses on enterprise and government use cases, offering large language models that can be deployed securely and locally. Aleph Alpha emphasizes compliance, transparency, and European values, and its technology is already being tested in public sector settings. While not yet mainstream for consumers, it may quietly power future European digital services. Europe also contributes heavily through open-source AI. Projects like Bloom and Open Assistant show that Europe remains influential at the research and community level, even if these tools aren't packaged for everyday users yet.
While ChatGPT and Gemini still leads in many tasks, we expect this advantage to fade as these services become a commodity. So start integrating European AI where it already excels, and technological development and adoption will dictate the future of European AI. We see great niche examples, but the focus should be on a productive adoption of these tools for companies and society. A great example is Deep, the German translation tool that often outperforms Google Translate for European languages. Using DeepL for translation or writing assistance is an easy switch that already favors European AI. For privacy-sensitive tasks, running open-source models locally, even if they're less powerful, can keep your data off US servers. Over time, European regulation and certification may make trusted, compliant AI a selling point, especially in healthcare, education, and government services. By experimenting now, users build familiarity and resilience instead of depending entirely on one provider. Europe may not yet have a GPT-5 equivalent for the masses yet, but it's building serious alternatives. Keeping one foot in that ecosystem prepares you for a future where AI choice and sovereignty will matter much more than it does today.
Food delivery is one category where Europe has clearly built and retained its own champions. In many European countries, Uber Eats is not the dominant player. Instead, Europe-grown platforms like Just Eat Takeaway, Delivery Hero, Glovo, and Deliveroo lead their local markets. This sector benefited from strong local network effects, where proximity to restaurants and couriers mattered more than global scale. The flagship example is Just Eat Takeaway, JET, formed in 2020 through the merger of the UK-based Just Eat and the Netherlands Takeaway.com. Headquartered in Amsterdam, Jet operates under local brands across Europe and has become one of the largest food delivery platforms outside China, handling over 1 billion orders annually. In many countries, Jet is effectively the default food delivery app.
Behind the scenes, the story becomes more complex with Prosus and Naspers. Prosus, a Dutch-listed investment firm controlled by South Africa's Naspers, used the enormous profits from its early Tencent investment to become a major global tech investor, especially in food delivery. Prosus tried to acquire Just Eat outright in 2019, but lost a bidding war to Takeaway.com. Instead, it later accumulated a large minority stake in Jet, becoming one of its most influential shareholders.
Prosus, trading on Euronext Amsterdam under ticker PRX, is a global consumer internet investment holding company with roots in Europe. Its strategy is to allocate capital across leading digital platforms in food delivery, classifieds, fintech, and emerging technologies, funded largely by its historic Tencent stake. Prosus's competitive advantage is capital allocation at scale, making it the most effective public market proxy for exposure to European and global consumer tech platforms.
Prosus also played a major role elsewhere. It held a significant stake in Delivery Hero, a German-founded delivery giant that operates mostly outside Western Europe. And Delivery Hero in turn acquired Glovo, the Spanish Deliver Anything app, popular across Southern Europe. Through these investments and asset swaps, Europe's food delivery market consolidated into a handful of large, mostly European-founded platforms with global capital behind them.
Delivery Hero, listed on the Frankfurt Stock Exchange's Xetra under ticker DHER, is a global food delivery operator founded in Germany. Its strategy focuses on scaling local delivery champions, optimizing logistics density, and concentrating on markets with strong structural growth. Delivery Hero's competitive advantage lies in its operational playbooks and experience running delivery platforms across diverse geographies.
This highlights an important nuance. Many European consumer champions are operationally and culturally European, but financially global. Ownership crosses borders even when the apps feel local.
For consumers, the takeaway is straightforward. You're probably already using a European platform. In Germany, Lieferando dominates. In Spain, Glovo is everywhere. In the Netherlands, Thuisbezorgd is the default. Uber Eats exists, but it hasn't displaced local leaders. Often these European apps offer better coverage, local deals, or lower fees. This category doesn't require a dramatic switch. Just awareness. If you're using Uber Eats, check whether restaurants are also on the local platform. They usually are. Supporting the local app reinforces competition and keeps commissions, jobs, and operational decisions closer to the region. From an investor perspective, food delivery shows Europe's ability to build global-scale consumer apps through consolidation and smart capital deployment, rather than pure Silicon Valley-style blitzscaling. For users, it's a quiet success story, one major part of daily digital life. Food delivery proves that Europe can win in consumer tech, especially when services are local by nature and network effects favor regional champions.
In this two-part episode, we've covered a lot of categories and alternatives. If you try to switch everything at once, it will feel overwhelming. And that's exactly how most people give up. So instead, let's zoom out and define a simple, realistic philosophy for the next 30 days. Replace defaults, not habits. And do it step by step. Defaults are powerful. They quietly shape 80 to 90% of what you do without you thinking about it. Habits, on the other hand, involve people, networks, and routines, and those take time to change. So the smartest way to start is with solo switches. Things you can change entirely on your own without asking anyone else to adapt. Start with your browser. On day 1, install Vivaldi, import your bookmarks and passwords, and set it as your default browser. Keep Chrome or Safari installed as a fallback, but make a conscious effort to do most of your browsing in the new one for a week. In practice, almost nothing breaks. Modern browsers all load the same websites. What changes is who controls your default environment and how much data flows automatically to big tech. On day 2, switch your default search engine to Ecosia, Qont, or Startpage. Don't overthink it. Just make sure that when you type into the address bar, Google is no longer the automatic middleman. Use the new search engine for a full week. If you occasionally fall back to Google for a very specific query, that's fine. The point isn't perfection, it's changing the default behavior that feeds Google data dozens of times per day. Some categories deserve more patience. Email is the most important one. It's central to your digital identity, and rushing it is how people lose messages or get frustrated.
In week 1, simply open a new account with Proton Mail or Tutanota. Explore the interface, install the mobile app, and get comfortable. In week 2, set up forwarding from Gmail or Outlook so all new emails arrive in your new inbox. Then start migrating accounts gradually. Bank logins, utilities, subscriptions, just a few per day. By day 30, most important communications can live in the new inbox, while your old account becomes a legacy mailbox, mainly receiving newsletters and spam. The same logic applies to cloud storage. Don't try to move years of files in one weekend. Install Trezorit, pCloud, or Proton Drive and start using it for new files first. Maybe back up your personal documents folder or phone photos there instead of Google Drive or iCloud. Run both systems in parallel for a while. Many people realize after a few weeks that they barely open the old cloud service anymore. For apps with strong network effects, like messaging and social media, avoid full replacement early on. Instead, use a 2-app strategy. Keep WhatsApp, but add Signal or Threema. Invite 2 or 3 close contacts, family or trusted friends, to try it with you. Create a small group and use it for sensitive or personal conversations. That's already a meaningful win. Over time, that parallel channel can grow naturally, without drama or forced migrations.
Apply the same thinking to social feeds. If you use Twitter or X, open a Mastodon account in the first week. Choose a server, follow a few journalists or creators, and spend a few minutes each day curating your feed. You don't have to quit Twitter, you're simply diversifying your attention. By day 30, you'll likely have a smaller but calmer feed that scratches the same news and ideas itch without the constant outrage algorithm. Instagram is similar. Keep it if you want, but notice how much sharing can move back to private group chats or smaller communities. If photography matters to you, PixelFed can offer a quieter, ad-free alternative for sharing images without chasing likes. Keep old accounts as backups. Don't delete anything yet. Export your data, contacts, calendars, bookmarks, and store it safely. Use a password manager to simplify account updates. That safety net removes fear and keeps the process calm. By the end of 30 days, you will likely find that very little convenience was actually lost. Let's be honest about the downsides. You may lose some familiarity, especially in social media and video. No European platform can fully replicate the global reach of Instagram or YouTube. You might feel a bit of FOMO at first. Some alternative apps may feel slightly less refined or lack one niche feature you liked. Convincing friends to adopt new messaging apps can be slow. That's real. These are the costs, and they mostly relate to network effects and habit inertia, not to functionality.
What you gain is substantial. The world is getting to a strange place. U.S. is an unreliable partner, and European sovereignty should be first in the people's agenda. Just as Europe talks about energy or food independence, digital independence matters too. Infrastructure, skills, and data location have geopolitical implications. Individual choices may feel small, but aggregated across millions of users, they determine which platforms survive and innovate.
But there are many more advantages of making this switch. European alternatives are built around the idea that your data is not the product. Your emails aren't scanned for ads. Your searches aren't profiled. Your private messages are truly private. That peace of mind is subtle, but over time it matters. Second, choice and resilience. When you diversify your tools, you're no longer dependent on a single company's outages, policy changes, or product shutdowns. If one service breaks or degrades, you already have an alternative. That alone reduces digital stress. You also support competition. User choice is one of the few forces that can pressure dominant platforms to improve. If enough people adopt privacy-first alternatives, even giants are forced to respond by improving transparency, offering better controls, or changing defaults. Even moving 20 to 30% of your digital life to European platforms is meaningful. You don't need to be perfect. A partial shift already changes incentives.
The big takeaway is about sovereignty and choice. There are viable European alternatives across most categories, and using them, fully or partially, can benefit you personally while strengthening the broader digital ecosystem.
You might be surprised by how little changes, or how much calmer your digital life feels. Worst case, you revert one or two switches. Best case, you discover new favorites and wonder why you waited so long. In the next weeks, we'll go deeper into the business models, ownership, and capital. Europeans should not only switch to European apps when possible, they should push for a more dynamic investment in European companies in Europe. Until then, remember, this isn't about rejecting technology. It's about balance, resilience, and keeping control. Safe switching, and talk to you next time.
Thank you for listening to the Eurotech podcast. If you enjoyed this recap, be sure to subscribe for next week's tech news highlights. Until then, have a great week and stay tuned for more updates on Europe's tech scene. This podcast was produced by Asif Rajani and brought to you by Eurotech.vc, empowering Europe to lead the global tech race.